Hello everyone, this is R.S. Miller at the endtimenews.org and today is July 7th, 2014. This is a special report. The IDF calls up 1,500 reserve troops amidst the increased rocket attacks from Gaza. Israeli military called up as many as 1,500 reserve troops to be deployed near the Gaza border in what appears to be preparation for an escalation of hostilities between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. The IDF has ordered the activation of 1,500 reservists, which includes infantry assault units along the Gaza border in preparation for an offensive in Gaza, should the order be given. And at this point, in the escalating hostilities, that order may be a matter of hours away. 150 rockets have been fired at Israeli citizens in less than 30 days. Although there have been few, if any, casualties, Israel is not likely to stand for such an indiscriminate assault on its population, and that is rightly so. Today, one of the rockets fired from Gaza into Israel hit a building in the Eshkol region, causing significant damage to the building, though no casualties were reported. Within the past 12 hours, an IDF spokesperson wrote on their Twitter account that 200 rockets were fired at Israel within the past 30 days, 50 of them just since midnight. An IDF patrol was attacked near Gaza's security fence, apparently with an anti-tank missile and small arms fire. The IDF returned fire towards the attackers. Another rocket fired from the Gaza Strip in the area of Beersheba, one of Israel's largest cities, 50 kilometers away from the Gaza Strip. All within this same 12-hour period, 9 more rockets were fired, hit Eshkol Regional Council area, and again 8 more rockets and mortars hit southern Israel in just a few hours, with a total of 40 at that point having been fired from Gaza into Israel. In response to the relentless rocket fire, the IDF targeted 3 concealed rocket launchers in the northern Gaza Strip. Aircraft targeted a Hamas terror tunnel, preventing an attack on Israelis. According to a report by BreakingIsraelNews.com, 9 members of the Hamas and Islamic Jihad terror organization were killed overnight Sunday following an Israeli airstrike on 14 targets in the Gaza Strip. The strikes come in response to a constant barrage of rocket fire on Israel throughout the day. Some 25 rockets were shot into Israel over the course of Sunday. The IDF confirmed direct hits on each of the targets, including terror sites and concealed rocket launchers. In another report, the terrorists who were killed in the tunnel targeted by the IAF were reported to have been blown up by their own explosives, which were being stored there for use against Israel at some later date. Meanwhile, as the violence continues to spiral out of control, hundreds of masked Palestinians attempted to block a main junction of a highway near the town of Acre on Sunday. The local police were deployed to the area to restore order. Earlier on Sunday, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu made the following remarks during his weekly cabinet meeting. He said, "We are working on several fronts simultaneously. Overnight, we were active against Hamas targets in Gaza, and the goal of our operations is to restore quiet and security to all Israeli citizens, especially the residents of the South. Experience proves that at such times we must act responsible and with equanimity, not hastily. We will do whatever is necessary to restore quiet and security to the South," he said. Over the weekend, we also took determined action against disturbances in Jerusalem and in Arab communities. We are taking a tough line against anyone who breaks the law and against insiders from whatever side. There is no place in the state of Israel for stone throwing at police, throwing firebombs, blocking roads, or destroying property, or inciting against the very existence of the State of Israel. The rope cannot be held from both ends. One cannot benefit from national insurance payments and child allowances on one hand, and on the other, violate the most basic laws of the State of Israel. I call on the leaders of the Arab public to show responsibility and come out against the waves of disturbances in order to restore quiet. Whoever does not abide by the law will be arrested and punished severely. In another statement, during Netanyahu's visit to Naf Ayalon on the 6th, and in reference to the vicious abduction and murder of the 3 Israeli teenagers, the Prime Minister stated that, "I know that in our society, the society of Israel, there is no place for such murderers. And that's the difference between us and our neighbors. They consider murderers to be heroes. They name public squares after them. We don't. We condemn them, we put them on trial, and we put them in prison. And that's not the only difference. While we put these murderers on trial, from the Palestinian Authority, there is continuous incitement for the destruction of the State of Israel. It's a staple of the official media and of the educational system. We do not seek their destruction. They teach a very broad segment of their society to seek our destruction, and that must end. There's too much suffering. There's too much pain. We do not differentiate between the terrorists, and we will respond to all of them, wherever they come from, with a firm hand. We will not allow extremists from wherever they come to ignite the region and shed more blood." Friends, it is very possible that sometime within the next several days, the Israeli Defense Forces will launch a massive assault on the Gaza Strip in an effort to finish what was left undone during Operation Pillar of Defense back in 2012. During the operation, Israel once again showed the world its compassion and regard for human life, making every effort to minimize civilian casualties, using precision strike munitions, not bringing to bear the overwhelming amount of force that they could have applied to the battlefield, and even cutting the operations short of an all-out crushing defeat of the enemy. A pertinent question at this juncture would be, would the Palestinians, Hamas, and Fatah afforded innocent Israeli citizens the same considerations? I think not. However, should Israel be compelled to enter Gaza this time, I believe the end will be much more profound. As the lyrics of a song from the 1970s probably says it best, and I quote, "No more Mr. Nice Guy," unquote. This time around, I think that Israel will stay and completely finish the job. After all, no other country in the world would even consider living under the constant threat of destruction that Israel is expected to do. If France lobbed a couple of rockets across the English Channel into London and its suburbs, or if Mexico launched missiles into the Dallas-Fort Worth area, it doesn't take much of an imagination to figure out exactly what these respective countries would do about that situation. Now, why should Israel be any different? Personally, I think that the biggest reasons that the IDF hasn't completely crushed Hamas and other local terrorists are because of Western pressures on Israel to make peace. But unfortunately, you cannot make peace with those who will only be satisfied with your complete destruction. And again, quite unfortunately, all of these Western fingers dabbling in the pot are only going to lead to the battle of Armageddon. In Zachariah, verse 12, the Lord says, "Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of drunkenness, to all the surrounding peoples when they lay siege against Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall happen in that day that I will make Jerusalem a very heavy stone for all peoples. All who would heave it away will surely be cut in pieces, though all nations of the earth are gathered against it. Folks, this day is a lot closer than many people think. And just like one prepares for some sort of catastrophe known to be coming down the road, we also need to prepare for this one as well. Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. Are you saved? If you follow the link in the box below and pray the prayer of salvation with a sincere heart, you will be saved. May God bless you and yours.